Hello, bookfellas and fellas. Love is in the air because it's February, and so are my bookish TBR. I actually am pretty ambitious this month because last month I didn't get a ton read. I only got about 6 books read, and for me, that's not very much. And it's not the fact I'm trying to take in as many books as I can. It's the fact that there are so many things that I want to read that I am just trying to get to everything as quickly as I can while still savoring what I am currently reading, because that is the important thing, is that I am savoring everything that I read. Quality over quantity, but quantity is a difficult thing when there are so many things that you want to get to. So let's just go ahead and get into what I would like to read in the month of February. So currently I am already in the middle of The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is a sequel to The Cruel Prince, which I absolutely loved last year. It was an amazing book, and I am over halfway done with this, and I'm just loving this just as much as I love the first one, especially because there is still the same angst and the politics in the fairy world. So you have Jude, who is this human that lives in the fairy world because Jude's mother actually had a husband that was fairy, and so she decided to leave him. And then so one night they are all sitting around, Jude, her family, when she's a little kid, and suddenly this man comes through and murders her parents. And come to find out, her oldest sister is part fairy, and her father, who is the fairy that helped to sire her older sister, of course murder her mother, decides to take the kids off back to fairyland because he now feels very responsible for them. What an introduction to your new stepdad, right? So this has a ton of politics. Jude feels very out of place being a human, but she has one of the things that none of the other fairies can do, and that is she can lie. So she's very desperate to try to gain dominance and a place in fairy, because being the fact that she's human and the fact that she loves fairy, she doesn't really feel very in place at all, because the fairies there are very cruel and they love to play politics. So she's looking to carve a place out for herself in the midst of everything. This has a ton of politics, and I love this series so much. I am going to be dying until they come out with the third one. I'm guaranteeing it after this. It's just so wonderful. And not to mention, let's just admire this cover really quick. I mean, this bear cover is just, it's phenomenal. It's so good. The next book that I really want to read, I've actually kind of started already, but because of The Wicked King and I was worried about getting spoilers, I decided to go ahead and read The Wicked King. I'm going to be picking this one back up again soon. It is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I read the other 2 books last month and I absolutely loved them. They were so good. They had, especially The Well of Ascension, which is the second book in this trilogy, and it threw me through so many curves, and I loved everything it had to offer, and it's just this epic fantasy. You have the main character, Vin, who was raised on the street, and she's lived there for a good portion of her life, and she's had to fight to stay alive. And of course, the current thief that she's employed by, Carden, has been utilizing her to kind of set the tone and help soothe a lot of these people that he's dealing with in order to get his way much easier. She feels like she doesn't really believe that she has a lot of abilities, and she's not really sure why she has this ability. When she meets a Mistborn named Kelsier kind of teaches her that she actually is a Mistborn. And what Mistborns are is they can utilize all of the metals by eating them, pure metals, and burning them inside their stomach to utilize different abilities. Some of these abilities include increased strength, the ability to soothe people around you, whether or not you riot them up or you calm them down. Mistborns are very powerful. Now, they actually do have ones called Mistings. Mistings can only have one ability. They only have the ability to burn one metal and utilize that ability's metal. And it's a very intriguing magic system, and it's very in Brandon Sanderson traditional creative, because Brandon Sanderson's magic systems are just amazingly creative and different from anything that I've ever read before, and this is definitely no exception. I have loved the previous 2 books, and I've heard that this one is going to be the book out of this trilogy, because this is the 3rd and final one in this series, and I am stoked to be able to get to this month. So King of Scars is now out, but in spite of the fact that I have it in my possession, I refuse to read it just yet. So I hope I don't get spoiled for it until after I read the duology for 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I heard about this. This is involving a heist with some misfits in the Grishaverse. This is a world that Lee Bardugo, who is the author of these, actually created. they had her first trilogy, Shadow and Bone, which is also set in this world, but these particular beauties are also set in that world as well. They just kind of have a different set of characters that we are following. I am very stoked. I hear so many good things about this. I'm only trying to do one series at a time though, so I'm waiting till after I get through with Mistborn, however long that takes me, before I start another series. I'm trying to get a lot of my series eliminated this year that I have been dying to get to, and this is one of the series that I have heard so many great things about. I mean, when you say heist involving a band of friends who act like family and misfits and everything like that, I am just amazed that I haven't gotten a chance to pick these up or haven't made these a higher priority. But this is happening as soon as I can get to it because I loved Nikolai in the Shadow and Bone series, and the King of Scars is all about him. And he was literally one of my favorite characters in that. Literally. And so the fact that they have brought him back for a standalone duology means that I have to get on these. Not to mention the fact that they're coming out with a Netflix series, okay? A Netflix series for these. And I am so freaking stoked. And I haven't even read these yet. What's my fandom going to be like as soon as I'm done with this? Like, seriously, this is going to be so amazing and I'm so excited. So the next book is one of my most anticipated releases of 2019. Came out about a week or so ago and I haven't gotten to it yet because I've been trying to finish up with A Wicked King and it's kind of been slow going. I think I'm actually like in a slight reading slump, or maybe I've just been super busy. It could be a combination of both. So I'm just trying to get myself pulled out of it, like by like going through and organizing and going through and making sure like that I'm reading all of this stuff towards the top of my TBR. I actually went through those stack of books like that I have over here normally. I actually went through and reorganized everything so that I could put everything over here that is at the top of my list to read. And if you guys are interested in what I am really interested in reading that's towards the top of my list that I actually included over here, please feel free to give me a comment down in the comments and I would be happy to do a video for you on my most anticipated books that I have on my physical TBR. So this is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Need I say more? Because honestly, once I heard that, I'm like, you know, I don't think I need to know anything else. I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna get it and I'm going to devour it and I'm going to love it because it's Beauty and the Beast retelling. And your girl loves Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, so this is also on this month's TBR. Hopefully I'll be able to get to everything because some of these books I've picked a lot of bigger books this month, but then again, 2019 is supposed to be the year of my big books, so mission accomplished. So being the fact that it is the month of Valentine's Day, I wanted to get to some of my most anticipated contemporary books that I have been dying to get to. So the first one of that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I have heard so many good things about this. This is a hate to love about two people that work in an office together and there's bickering and they have like this whole chemistry, and everybody that I've heard about that's read this book has absolutely loved it. So I feel like this is going to be one of those books I probably will be devouring in probably the span of a day, you know, and I am very excited to be getting to this finally, to know what all the hype's about, because, you know, this is another very hyped book. It seems like the hype is real on this, considering like I haven't heard a single bad thing about this. So the next two books that I want to read are both by Christina Lauren. This is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren and Roomies by Christina Lauren. These also have gotten a lot of really good reviews. And I think like this is like a little bit more unconventional, like two people become roommates and they kind of, you know, like end up falling in love. That's kind of like the vibe that I get for this. And I believe like this is like one of those tropes, like where it starts out like, you know, the pretend relationship, or like they're trying not to date and then they end up falling in love with each other in spite of the fact that they're trying not to date. So I think that was the overall for like these, but regardless, like these have also gotten a lot of really good reviews. And, you know, being the fact that it's a month for Valentine's Day and love, I wanted to dig my heels into some really racy contemporaries. So these are what I'm doing, romances. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys liked the video. If you like the video, hit the little like, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell icon if you want to receive emails every time I post. If you guys like this video, if you guys like me, you guys can go ahead, check out my Twitter account, my Amazon account. I also have a Goodreads and an Instagram. All of those links are linked down in the description below. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. And as always, I will see you guys again very soon.